prices take a sharp spike, as I predicted that they will take, should interest rates come off quickly, the government may be forced to step in to cool the market. And that brings us nicely on to our next point. The 3 things that worries me in 2024. Now, the general worry coming into 2023 was the likely recession that everybody predicted and the potential job losses that comes with recessions. I guess that concern has somewhat subsided together with the fact that, the Fed has come out to state that we potentially will come into the soft landing, the all elusive soft landing, which is why they have changed their tone over to increasing interest rates to now tapering off and potentially dropping them. So now, with that concern having eased, we have a new set of concerns coming into 2024. So like I said earlier, in the second big piece of news with the leadership handover and potential elections, should prices take a sharp spike, as I predicted that they will take, should interest rates come off quickly, the government may be forced to step in to cool the market, which is my first concern, the likely chances of cooling measures should rates come off and prices take a sharp spike, because fundamentally the market, people are making more money, as we have seen in the MAS Financial Stability Review. People are sitting on a lot of cash right now that's parked in risk-free, effortless investments that are yielding pretty decent returns. Should that come off, demand will then shift to other asset classes, of which property we know it's Singaporeans' favorite. The reason why I foresee a sharp spike in prices should that happen, okay? So now, with demand being somewhat consistent, not having been taken off the market, demand is consistent, probably coming up should rates come down. So now if we look at on the supply side, while supply of new launches may look like they are coming up, we can see over here, supply of new launches on a 10-year average is still very, very low. GLS have come off a sustained period of undersupply, and over in the new launch market is still undersupplied. And if we then take a look at other forms of supply which comes in the resale market, right, we have EC MOPs, right, which is a good supply, especially for the HDB upgraders. In 2023, there was 4,100 ECs that hit its MOP, and that number is going to drop off significantly in 2024 with only 3 ECs expected to hit their MOP. We have Inns Residences in Choa Chu Kang, we have 100 Palms over in Serangoon, and the last one is North Wave over at Woodlands, right, contributing just 1,300 units. So that's a significant drop-off in EC MOP supply for the private residential market. Next up, we have the private TOP market. So these are new developments that have just collected their keys. Over in 2023, we have a bumper crop of 14,000 of them, and that's going to come off into 11,000 expected for 2024 and continue on that downward trend all the way to 2026 with just 5,000 to 6,000 units. So now all of this is going to squeeze the private market of supply, and so that supply squeeze has been there for the last 2 to 3 years, and as we have seen in 2021, 2022, that has caused a spike in prices. That demand supply imbalance is somewhat well managed, right, with demand being held back because of the increase in interest rates. Now with interest rates likely to come down and on the back of undersupply, this then reinforces why I say if not controlled well, and if rates were to come down sharply, demand will spike up and supply just cannot match up in time. Like I've always said, demand can be controlled easily, right? Pump cooling measure come, demand can be controlled. But supply cannot be controlled that easily. You don't build a house today, you're not going to get a house until at least 4 years later on. The government have already sensed this happening, which is why they've been trying to ramp up GLS supply. But whether or not that is in time, time will tell. Okay? Now, the third thing that worries me is the lower land bids, the low number of land bids, be it the amount of developers bidding for the land, and secondly is the land prices. Okay, so low number of developers bid, chances that the land prices will continue to come down is a real concern to me, right? But like I explained earlier in the video, that's on the back of 13% year-on-year increase in construction costs. We also have GFA harmonization. Now, it's going to take time for the market to sort of get used to this and to understand this. So time will tell, especially with the launch of the first couple of batches of developments and GLS, right? First of which I believe should be Jalan Tembusu, Plot B, the one across Tembusu Grand, one of the first developments to launch post GFA harmonization. That would be one of the interesting data points that I will be looking at to sort of tell how does this whole GFA harmonization thing play into the final consumer, how much developers will launch the developments of that. Low land bids, you know, something of a concern but not overly big, especially if it turns out that the developers are just passing on all that cost over to consumers at the end. But if not, if the launches were to continue to show a reducing land price, a reducing PSF as compared to a close competitor, that will be something that concerns me in 2024.